Hi, Warriors. Dale and Mike here at TradeGATEHub.com. We're powered by TradeView Markets. Mike, I just want to bring people up to date on currency action. It's headline stuff. If you've been following me on the videos and Real Vision or wherever, Twitter, I've been talking about looking for a panic under the par level in the dollar index, and here we go. So we're here. Now, the market's in a position right here where it feels late to sell it, early to buy it. So you just let it do some work. I was talking about 112 in the euro. We're there. I think that we could press maybe towards 113. Talked 132 in cable. We're 100 pips away. And the yen, very important level for it to hold. This 138, 7.5 level. I do think that after a big move like this, you never know if it's Niagara Falls, right, Mike? You just get in the barrel and it keeps going. But I wouldn't press this
Coach,
either.
May I interject?
Yeah.
I don't know if we should, can I see your charts?
I'm showing my charts.
I don't see that I'm seeing that we have TradeGate Hub here.
Okay. Here we go. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. So there's the yen.
There you go.
It was one of the best calls of the week. If you follow our videos, I was talking about all the divergences that were developing up here against 45. Actually put out some sell recommendations at 460 and 420. Big trade. So
Yeah, it is a big trade.
This goes with what happened to yields. So you have to look for a rally, maybe 41, 42 over the next week or so, especially if the dollar catches a bid to get short, because I think we're going to see it back down at these lows. I don't want to disillusion precious metal traders here. If you're in our room, I put out buys at 22.40. It looked dicey then, but here we are. And I've been talking about $25 on our video.
Yeah.
So I don't think the short squeeze, silver short squeeze people, Mike, they expect a blow to new highs like over 27. I think silver is going to have trouble at 25. I think gold's going to have trouble at. Gold doesn't look as good, does it? Maybe it could get to 2000, but 1970, 1980, and then I'm looking for another drop. And I've been looking for a top in the S&Ps for about 20 years, and continues to march. But I just want to make a point. So this is a 3 drive. We're still diverging, but I know guys talking about 46 now, Mike. These guys keep raising their resistance levels, right? So now it could go to 46. Just want to point out with this blow off move in NASDAQ, diverging there, but Apple's not at a new high. AMD still looks heavy. I wouldn't be buying NVIDIA up here for a possible third drive. Look at the glaring divergence in NVIDIA. Microsoft is not making new highs. Seems like it might be developing a shoulder here.
Coach, it's just been an excuse for them to take these mid-level tech stocks or any of the small caps up in the meantime. As a matter of fact, if it was doing the opposite, then we would even be in bigger trouble, if you will. For my, why not take profit? And people had a nice run in the market. No matter where you bought it, to a degree, except for yesterday or maybe today, whatever you got, sands a week. But and they have plenty of money to rotate in that mega 8, in those mega 8 that have still going up. So they got money to put, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
plenty of sectors.
So they're rotating, and that's what I want to get to with you is what they're rotating to. So I would just say,
I wouldn't say so much rotating. They're starting to run to things. To others.
Okay, so I mean, you showed the greedometer at extreme greed, and it doesn't matter. It's just sentiment, right? So I want to turn it over to you so you could show us how you're deploying capital and what the sweepers are
I am
saying.
deploying capital, that's for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing, Mike, and turn it over to you. But just keep this in mind. When the dollar is bad, you can buy the world. Okay, you could be long the world. When the
Coach, no,
yeah,
I understand. I understand.
okay.
What I'm
I'm just
saying
saying,
is, let me go
keep
to
an
my
eye on.
screen here for a second. Hold on. No, cancel. Share screen. Where's the share? New share right here, Coach. Everybody knew the guy, the D dog, insider buying, the guy from Datadog. It basically it was insider buying, hand over fist for the 60s. Now it's 101. Nobody wanted things like that. So what I'm saying is, I understand that that's a macro view, but thank God I'm mixed, and it's really my job to be mixed as I am an active manager. But there's one of the stocks here, like a Twilo that we're still buying. All it takes is one day for these to go out of a range. Shopify, I was short yesterday, and this came out of a flag with volume, and it's still going up. So, I understand. I understand that Microsoft might be going well. By the way, Microsoft.
Nowhere.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
anyway, I'm just saying that the generals that led it, and I've heard people say this, Mike, is that people are going to rotate out of big cap tech and start buying other things. So the market's actually is breadth broadening out. Because I have a
this is like
guest.
the fourth day in a one where breadth is 3-1. It's the fifth day in a row where breadth is 3-1.
Okay, because I heard a stat from our guest. I checked their Twitter feeds
I'm sure.
for
Yeah,
things to talk about.
that's why we get the guests that we do, because you do your homework and do it. What happened?
Well, he's saying only 23% of stocks are outperforming the S&P in the last 3 months, and that's one of the lowest readings in quite some time.
No, Coach, I get it, and listen. I could probably stand up and give for the majority of people, if not most, 100 good reasons to buy the market and 100 reasons to sell the market, and each would probably be just as compelling if you heard it on their own. So with that, okay, maybe not. You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
And with that being,
you're just here to make money, not to talk narratives.
Well, I stopped. I'm late. I'm being late to some of these things, and it got tiring to try to figure things out. And sometimes you got to, reflect. It's not.
So you could just see that right there. U.S. hit the top, and the euro experienced a breakout, and that was what a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So before euro really accelerated. So anyway, a lot of great ideas come out of this little community here. Here's Walter Deemer.
Okay, here's what he said yesterday. New York breadth has been positive 2-1 for 4 straight days now. Today's 3-1. Do a stat on that. Even if you went and did what the market did after 4 days of 2-1, I bet you, or it's not, the sentiment is piling to the negative, towards the
yeah.
You know what I mean? The extreme greed meter has been up, and everybody looks at it. And by the way, it is basically universal.
Well, you were just saying on a post we had in our room, I believe Gerard put up a post about the call buying that's going on, some kind of chart.
Yeah.
And you said it's really unreal. So what did you mean by that? That's really unreal.
Because because you know what? It's a combination of things, really. And the first might be a little outside the box. I'm not a real theorist, but I believe the algos are bred to get you out. That's why they make those moves. And I say, I can't believe, and then to inflict the max pain on the wrong side.
Yeah.
I do believe that. Okay. So and I look over here because I'm trying to, my screen is here, but another thing is fear of missing out. I'm chasing to a degree, making money.
Yeah. There's a time to chase. So maybe I should still be sure.
I have core losers. I have some core losers that, in some big cap stocks. I'm not, doing anything fancy with the Carvana, in that I have to getting sexy, which thank God is my acumen to chase even to get around these macro views, or I can't believe what's going on.
Okay, so you bring up Carvana. Now, Carvana was a darling a couple years ago. Show a long-term chart of Carvana. So, I mean, yeah, it's railing now, but look where it came from.
Well, it says a couple of things to me. Obviously,
What's
it's
it
in a
say?
stage one downtrend, but another thing is why they do it to this particular stock. The other reason is an upstart, which, by the way, a couple of
Did the
months ago
same
was
thing.
11. Now it's 40. Now it's 45. Now it's 45.
Yeah.
That's my Mac, but that's my Mac.
Doesn't this kind of remind you of junk?
EH was
Junk?
at $3. It wasn't. I'm not going to say all this. What I'm saying is,
Yeah. Okay, that's a great example.
it
But
is
where did it fall from?
200.
200 to $3.
And believe me, I
Or
was
at
in every
least
freaking share on the way
135.
up and the way down. But then
Yeah.
but you know what? They're giving you these outs as a stock like Disney. Yet again, still waffle. It's a weekly. It's even go to a daily. Good news today, Disney. Not good news, big news. Disney, okay? Am I a putz for sitting in this thing for a generational fund, which I'm supposed to, which I do handle? Am I a putz? No, well, you know what I mean? Or should I be adding into Airbnb, that's Airbnb, which I do have, but I don't have enough because it doesn't make sense. Everybody's suing them, blah, blah, blah. There's, what am I going to say? General Motors. I mean, what should I do here? Something like a General Motors daily. Why am I charged slow? 32 to 50. What am I going to do? I have 100,000 shares and make $6 if I'm right. Nice trade, but I don't know. Macy's, do you any all retail is bad. Nike, I'm still not getting paid. If the market's freaking flying, this thing's going the other way. As China stocks are acting a little bit better, if there's some China to it, if you will. Retail, the Crocs. I mean, you can look at something like an Onion. The other one that we have been brought up, the other sneaker retailer that's hot that is doing the opposite. So maybe I'm a boomer. I don't know. Maybe Alcoa should be taken off my screen. It actually is. I'm being facetious, but
it has a nice candle today.
Yeah, it does have a nice candle. This is it. This is Microsoft. This is it. Nevada. This is it. ON Semiconductor.
Yeah.
It always was. ON Semiconductor was the best acting stock for the past. Gerard's been on here for a couple of years, if not a year. I mean, we were micromanaging this thing when it shouldn't even been micromanaged. Not even breaking out yet. You know what I mean? It's going to blast right through this channel if it goes through this R. So
okay.
There's always there's always a place to run to. Pardon me. Yes, there are active stocks to play. Here's your plug. It never happens when you want it to, but I said there were calls going off. That was the only thing. All the calls. Plug. MGM calls. Same thing. What else was going off for calls? You sold it like a putz this morning because I thought the market was extended. So instead of saying, "Oh, I'm playing maybe the tail end of this trade," and I was looking to get at a price action. There's me. Stock closed at 43.70. I'm giddy. It's selling at 46. Nice trade, I guess, $3. But then it got all the putts. Every got to get out and shake and bake. Had the volume. Now it might be rolling over a little bit to a degree, but you know what? Even if you didn't trade it, stock's 46.50. Stock's moving in $1.50 clips on huge volume. Trade it. You don't have to pick the market, and that's where an old timer, what it is, like myself, that's in the going almost approaching the 3 decades, has to remember and has to adapt that price action trumps it, never gets old. Helene Meisler. Helene's, how old is Helene? I think she's a little older than me. No disrespect to Helene.
But even a machine.
What's that?
Be a machine.
That's her number one tweet. And she's a little bit, she's seen more than, even she gets it. So, I get the Ukraine war is there. I get the gold situation. Believe me, I could debate it, but that's economics. And that's geopolitical. You know what I mean? All I'm looking at right now is Baba. Doesn't look bad here. Does it still have any more in it? Am I late? Am I going to buy it? Is it a buy on the dip? Is JD lagging? It always has been a lagger, but yet again, they're squeezing Billy, which is freaking ripping. Believe me, that's a big move from 15 to 18. And they're doing the same thing to something like an FDU at China stocks. Came to a little resistance there. That's a note. So I understand that even an Oracle, yes, okay. I get you. Oracle was a behemoth. Maybe they sell off these low floaters. Maybe they say Carvana, I've had enough of the short squeeze, and they go back and take this flag up to another degree. You know what I mean, Coach? It's it feels like it's one trade or one day away from
Yeah,
from these
everything.
situations happening like that.
Yeah. So yeah, to be there for the good times, you have to be there all the time. All
No,
right,
you
Mike.
do.
So
And
what?
there are a couple of hardest things to do is you have to listen. The hardest thing to do is be disciplined. And for me, I think that's a good thing with most of my acumens, bad with some. I have a day trading still. That's where I came from. I still work on the on discipline on when on knowing when. You know what I mean? I know what to do.
Yeah,
But
it's always the when is the art of it,
yeah, it's
not
like
the if.
at our
Yeah.
level, I get it. I get it. Well, look at the ISE here that Gerard's so nice. Gerard does. I hope I feel he's trading pretty good. So here, Gerard even sent this. This is sentiment put call volume. It's the highest it's been for how long? And Gerard says,
Rookies.
it is. Well, it is. It's retail. It's me. It's me. It's the rookies and it's rookies and algos driving it up and maybe mid-level guys taking advantage of it to wipe off the macro situation that you're stuck in. That's what I believe to a degree. If I can put a macro trader view on it.
So last week or the week before, I said I liked the way oil was shaping up. You have some oil shares that you're participating in on the upside?
No, I have them on the downside.
Oh, okay.
What do I have on the downside? I don't. I want to look, but I don't want to look.
Did you you just passed on this miners trade, right?
No, the only thing that I'm in, yes, I passed. By the way, FCX, what coach did you say? Yes, it always had the calls, right?
Yeah,
Always had the calls. The
right.
one that I took a little profits, and because I was pinned in it, was GOLD, the entity. Now,
Okay.
when it went from 1620 to 1780, and believe me, I have six figures of it, I had to take, I didn't, I wanted to take some off here when it broke the 200-day because I thought it would do the trap and back and come under. It might do that still, but if it holds and has another leg, then I'm going to, hold it a little bit. Maybe it does that another flurry again. You know what I mean? And I get a little out of it. But that's something I took some money off the table of a GOLD.
GFI went to our number of 13 before it bounced.
It's embarrassing. What do you want me? I'm embarrassed. It went that now it's right in the channel.
And Walmart, you were going to short last week while we were on the
I-
air, has not made a new high either. It
That's a
still looks
short.
heavy to me.
I can't, that Walmart is a short, and that even said, first of all, a couple of, listen, there are sexier trades, but for
You
everything.
know what, Mike? Any trade you make money on is sexy to me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That's, you know what? That's no. Seriously, that's a reminder.
You could trade the boringest instrument, and if you're making money, that's sexy.
Well,
How about that?
sometimes if the VIX would even get elevated, God forbid what would happen in this room, the thing would light on fire. I mean, the VIX is only what, a 15? God forbid I got the 25, coach. Oh,
Yeah.
my God. But I digress. All right,
Okay.
Walmart, but should believe in everything we believe in. Okay, it's price action over sentiment, correct? That's
Right,
price
right.
action.
Yeah.
The moving level, granted, it's above the 200-day. The short-term moving average is curling down a little bit. The stock's coming with the decent volume. It's in the proper rotation sector. Insiders are selling rapidly, as Lewis and the people in the room would know. So why not? But let's take a look at the other thing. Maybe you look at another one, like an Ollie's Bargain Basement.
That looks pretty good.
Well, okay, well, I mean, that's coming to a little bit of the top of a range. Let's look at Big Lots. Are they still squeezed it? No.
Yeah.
Let's look at Target naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at Costco. If you want to compare that to Walmart, you can. So
Better.
another one of those week was Dollar Tree, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Can't
don't know
even
what
fill
to do
the
with
gap.
Dollar Tree.
Yeah. I don't like it.
But these are but the bottom line is the Big Daddy looks like it could be, susceptible. I mean, I know you're going to say 120, you know what I mean? But I could see it going maybe to like maybe, you know what?
145.
146. Here was this gap before it started this bad news, if you remember.
Yeah.
That was when it started warning and had that scar, which we should all remember. But this is where I go 146, which takes it to the gap here and to the 200-day. I think that's safe.
Semis.
Well, semis, they're bifurcated, as you would say. Here's Micron.
Okay.
Here's ADI. Your highs of Behemoth.
What a difference.
Here's Texan. Here's ON Semiconductor, the new one. Here's Nevada, as you know. But let's go to Lam Research, which is equipment makers. It's really only Micron that's been acting bad. But semis, they're all all on the list. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Great review, buddy.
Yeah.
What do you
The
want
good
to
thing,
wrap it? What do you want to wrap it with?
okay, let's
Oh,
wrap it with this. No, seriously, let's wrap it with something macro, since this has been the theme. Or at least, and I like to think so, because I want to be the trader that can make money with my mind and figure things out, but I can't because they're smarter than me. But I want to be the guy that, is faster or better than everybody else, because I don't, because the algos are smarter and faster than me. But what I've learned is, and I learned more last year than I probably learned in the last 5 to 6 years or previous decade, and that was in the bear market. You learn more about yourself in the bear market, is to just know what you're good at. It's a time when I realize that the smarter guys that I know are blocking out more of the hyperbole or Twitter propaganda, good or bad, and staying focused and staying in their lane. Because some of these trades, when it gets to this type of euphoria, granted, if you want to call it that, is the smarter money usually wins out at the end. The shorter money wins in the short term.
yeah.
But these are situations where you have to know to piece into things. Don't step in front of, you're not going to get the last tick or top tick, or everybody knows the bottom tick for that. So what TGH does the best for you is we give you amalgamation of things. I'm a short-term trader that I do a lot. I'm a 5-tool guy. I like to maybe cut down to a full 4-tool player. I'm not going to lie, but we're very active. Obviously, we come up with a macro plan, and actually, as the day goes along, we dissect it and try to put it to work. And actually, we do put it to work, right or wrong. And
Okay. Well,
just know yourself with the trade. That's all. Oh, what I want to say is this: banks are coming out tomorrow, or I'm going out to I'll post. Banks are coming out, I believe. Bear
okay.
with me.
They've been drifting higher. I did want to tell you that our guest today, Ofer Gottlieb, do you know him?
Absolutely, absolutely. I follow him.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I had no idea.
he's a Stanford trained mathematician, used to be an option maker, a market maker on the SIBO. And I'm going to ask him a question because he has this thing called Trade Machine. And I'm going to ask him what's the edge of that compared to just looking at sweeps. So you may want to, in your leisure tonight, play the recording. And so you follow him.
I do follow him. And by the way, the fact that I wasn't sure that you had him on, which,
Yeah.
a year ago would have been the focal point of my day. No disrespect to either of you. But you know what? This is my thought. It's not like I'm building pitches. What comes to mind? Everybody knows I'm off the cuff. It's just the trade view is getting, so big and so centered and focused on each individual the thing that we do, myself included. It happened to be a busy morning, where the fact that I would miss something like that is like missing, if you're a Met fan, knowing that I don't know, Tom Seaver was signing autographs at your bookstore and you missed it. You know what I mean?
All right. Okay. I do know what you're saying.
So here we are before the earnings. Bottom line: BlackRock, Citicorp, J.P. Morgan, State Street, and Wells Fargo. I haven't even thought of what I'm going to do with the banks. In the one that comes to mind innately is Wells Fargo to buy. Okay. Now, why do I say that? Can I leave it off with this, Coach?
Sure.
Because after all the fallout from the Silicon Bank and all and that whole scandal,
and their fake accounts that they did a
correct,
few years
everybody
ago.
ran to the best of breed, J.P. Morgan. I get
Yeah.
it. Then they ran to a Goldman.
Goldman doesn't look that
Well, it
great,
doesn't
does
look,
it?
but I get it.
All right.
Maybe they ran even. What else did they run into? They didn't run into much. It really was.
Bank of America.
No,
Maybe.
Bank of America.
Doesn't.
Wells Fargo. I think it's got a little bit in it, Coach. I might do it. Hold on. Let me, for Jim's sake. This is not intended for the Pope. This is for entertainment purposes. But I think on my I'm gonna take a position in Wells Fargo into earnings. I'm prepared to. I'll have a plan, and the plan is simple. If it's down, I'm gonna buy more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Mike, thanks for the heads up on the banks. That should be a big day because no other major news tomorrow. Love working with you, brother.
You too, Coach.
And you help me with your demeanor and the things you say, you remind me to not just be a market forecaster, but to be a trader. So
Well,
I
yeah,
appreciate it.
no, I appreciate that as well. I think that's our edge, coach. You see, I mean, staring at the screens, I don't want to say staring like it's cheapening it.
Yeah.
By the way, as I see Shopify calls noted yesterday, still flying off the flying, and they're
Flying
going to
off
the
the
good
shelf.
ones October.
Supermarket sweepstakes flying off the shelf.
You got to remember, coach, you can't, that's where the ego part, comes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard. How about this? It's harder to break an opinion than a bad habit. And you might be trading poorly and you could break that habit. I think it takes like 29 days minimum, something to break a bad habit. It takes a lot longer to break an opinion. And being an opinion can cost you a lot more than
it
trying
could
to break
break
a
you.
bad habit.
It could break you.
It could. So
Been there.
yeah, no, well, I'm not going to get there. I'm
All
not
right,
going to
good,
get there.
good. Yeah, I'm not going there anymore either.
All right, we'll leave it at that, guys. Thanks for
All right,
participating.
don't live in woulda, coulda, shoulda land.
No, I
See you
don't do
guys
that.
in the room.
Okay, cheers.